everyone, good evening. My name is Hess. I'm an Asheville City Councilman, licensed clinical social worker, addiction specialist, and someone who has been moved powerfully by music, by poetry, by art, and who believes deeply in the power of artists to move people, to shift culture and change history. Before I go on, I want to thank the Smokey Bear Hemp Company and Music Holler. Give them a round of applause. My friend Alan, who has invited me here. Give it up for Alan. And everyone at Musicians Organizing Activist Committee. They have been so welcoming, and they have really created a place where we as musicians can come and vent and do our thing. And where art and activism meet, that is exactly where so much of our American progress has been born. You know, there's a long lineage of protest music. Protest music didn't just start in the 1960s. It has been with us since the beginning of America itself. From Free America in 1774, a direct act of resistance against British colonial rule, to Woodman's Spare That Tree in 1837, one of America's earliest environmental protest songs, to the coded spirituals like Follow the Drinking Gourd, where enslaved people used music as both survival and a GPS to freedom, to I Didn't Raise My Boy to Be a Soldier in 1914, as Americans pushed back against the trauma of World War I, to 1915's immigrant focus, Don't Bite the Hand That's Feeding You, revealing the cultural tensions of that era, and so pertinent to this one as well. To Florence Reese's Which Side Are You On? In 1931, born from the violence of the Harlan County War. And Billie Holiday's devastating Strange Fruit in 1939, forcing America to confront the horror of lynching. And of course, Woody Guthrie's original verses of This Land Is Your Land, condemning hunger and class inequality. To We Shall Overcome, carried forward by black women labor organizers into the civil rights movement. Bob Dylan's Blowing in the Wind and These Times Are Changin', becoming anthems of awakening. And one of my favorites, Sam Cooke's A Change Is Gonna Come, written after he was denied a hotel room just because of the color of his skin. We can't forget Creedence Clearwater Revival's Fortunate Son, calling out the hypocrisy of war, and Edwin Starr's War, asking the question that we still ask today, war, what is it good for? To John Lennon's Imagine, asking us to build a world beyond borders and divisions, and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five's The Message, capturing poverty, systemic racism, and urban neglect. And Willie Nelson's groundbreaking in the 70s, Cowboys Are Frequently Secretly Fond of Each Other, introducing LGBTQ plus themes into mainstream country. And of course, NWA's
Fight the Power.
Yep. Fuck the Police. Controversial enough to draw the attention and fear of the FBI. I don't know if you guys know this, but the FBI actually tried to censor and silence that song. To Rage Against the Machine's Killing in the Name, screaming against white supremacy and institutional violence. And Green Day's American Idiot, pushing back against post-9/11 paranoia, the propaganda and fear, all the way up to Kendrick Lamar's All Right. And we can't forget the women as well. Ani DeFranco, the godmother of independent political music. Tori Amos, whose American Doll Posse and larger body of work challenged war, religious fundamentalism, gender violence, and the culture policing of women. Janet Jackson, who did something no one expected a global superstar to do, released Rhythm Nation 1814, a full political manifesto. These artists did not follow the culture, they confronted it. And right here in Asheville, we're doing the same thing. The lineage doesn't end with the icons. It lives right here in this room, in this city, in our mountains. From Carrie Cooper, naming the exhaustion, anxiety, and media manipulation of modern life, the feeling that reality is spinning faster than we can hold on to. Is Carrie Cooper in the room? To David Hess, who wrote about economic desperation, checking accounts on life support, 401ks evaporating, and the absurdity of calling Elizabeth Warren for answers that we all need. Adrian Gray, whose anthem, Come At Me, transforms fear into collective power, calling us to shine, drum, strum, and stand up for our rights. There's also Elizabeth McCorvey, offering a sermon of resistance, and it ain't gonna lay down. Quote, there's no such thing as a quiet revolution. We're going to have to get a little loud. To Emily Martin. Emily, are you here? Yes, Emily Martin, exposing class inequality. The people pushing wheelbarrows in the sun while others sit in shaded rooms discussing profits. And Ian Harrod, painting the portrait of prophets living under the bridges, ignored by society, but still holding visions of truth. There's Paul Quick with More Bad News, a warning about greed, corruption, and unraveling of American democracy. And Peter L. Berglund writing about the death of the Republic, the quiet, aching grief of a culture losing its voice. There's Joe Steele, whose satirical Hey Venezuela turns the mirror back on America and its own hypocrisies. Mary Kay Williams, I know, is here, calling us to march with Martin, ride with Rosa, and fight with Malcolm, honor Harriet, and love our neighbors fiercely. Quote, ain't gonna make war no more. And then, these are the protest songs born not from national headlines, but from the small human moments. Every day, and yes, I read through all of those lyrics that you guys submitted, and they were good. And I can't forget the story of an artist sitting in the La Quinta Inn parking lot in Meridian, Mississippi, just scrolling through Facebook, minding his own business. A man slips into the car beside him, and suddenly there's a flashlight in his face, and a police officer asks, do you have any smoke? Do you have any paraphernalia? The artist tells him the truth. I do. In fact, I just finished it. The officer says the weed is illegal here, but instead of arresting him, he confiscates it and lets him go with a warning. And the artist, in a line that only a musician could deliver, says, quote, man, I've been this way all my life. I'm just trying to smoke the pot I got from my hotel room and for the parking lot. And by the way, small businesses like this are under attack right now in our new funding bill nationally. So if you want to keep our small businesses and our hemp businesses in business, you need to write out to your representatives and your senators to take out that provision before it becomes law in the next year. These are not just songs, these are testimonies. They are records of who we are and what we refuse to accept. From 1774 to 2025 and beyond. From Ani to Janet to Tori to Strange Fruit, Drinking the Gourd, The Message, and All Right. From national icons to Asheville's own voices, protest music has always been the soundtrack to American truth-telling. And now it's our turn. Every single artist in this room stands in the lineage of Joseph Warren, Florence Reese, Billie Holiday, Sam Cooke. They wrote in times of war, injustice, censorship, violence, grief, and fear, and so do we. And you are a part of that story now, and tonight you get to carry it forward. So, thank you. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this moment, and this movement, and this tradition. Let's make some history tonight. Thank you. Again, my name is Bo Hess, Asheville City Councilman.